officer assisting the Great Basin Team 5, who's just transitioned into this role this week. Welcome to our first community meeting hosted by the Great Basin Team 5. We really appreciate your involvement in these meetings over the past few weeks and realize this has been very trying times for everyone in the surrounding communities. And I would also say thank you to our partners and cooperators, especially those in attendance today. We have Sheriff Scott Turner, as well as two gentlemen from Idaho Game and Fish. And those people will be here after the meeting to answer questions if there are any questions specifically for them. Okay. The agenda for this meeting is similar to what the Great Basin Team 3 has been providing for you all. However, you'll see our electronic setup is a little bit different. Each team has different equipment, so we're still recording and it'll still be posted on YouTube. And it will actually be on a new incident channel specifically for this incident on YouTube. That link is provided on our daily update. There are copies of the daily update in the back of the room, and also daily update is provided on InstaWeb every day, and all the important links are in that daily update. Okay. Okay, so the acreage right now is at 57,836, and it is 28% completed. There are currently 743 personnel working to protect resources, conduct suppression and mop-up, and provide overhead support. Tonight you will hear from our team members, including our incident meteorologist, our fire behavior analyst, our operations chief, an air resource advisor, agency administrator, and incident commander. And I will hand it over to our first speaker, which is Nick Nosler, who is our incident meteorologist.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Nosler, an incident meteorologist trainee. If you don't know, incident meteorologists provide weather support to wildfires. For our forecast, we are looking at continued above normal temperatures and dry conditions, and that will continue through Tuesday, and we'll probably see a little bit of an increase in winds this weekend and early next week as well. We do have chances of isolated showers and thunderstorms, most likely Sunday. We might get 2 rounds early Sunday morning, then again in the afternoon. If these do form, there's not going to be a whole lot of rain with them. However, we do have some good news. We are looking at a pattern change, most likely on Wednesday and Thursday. Storm system moves in, we're going to have cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and we'll have good chances of rain as well. End of report, and I'll be in the back afterwards for any questions.
Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Meyer, Fire Behavior Analyst. A fire behavior analyst works pretty closely with weather and always kind of follows in the briefing and says what's fairly obvious, so that the hot temperatures, the dry humidities that have come across today and are going to be trending with the high pressure over the next couple of days, increase fire behavior. So we have had a slight increase today, expect a slight increase tomorrow. That said, the trend that he's talking about coming next week puts a little bit of a relief possibility there with fire behavior. We track, and if I could get the slide switched, there you go. Actually, I'll just talk to this. These are some pictures from yesterday. This kind of gives you a chance to see what the mosaic of the burn looks like. And you can't quite see it in the picture, but not everything is black out there, so that's what we call a good kind of mosaic burn. Next slide. And right now, this is the character of the fire, creeping and smoldering. And next slide, occasional torching like that. That's what we've got out there today. That's what we expect tomorrow, and it's possible a little bit more than that. We'll see. One of the things that's driving this fire behavior also is an inversion. Caps the fire with the smoke, keeps the solar radiation off during the day, but when it does break, when it clears, it's like taking the lid off a charcoal grill. Air rushes in, and you get more of this and torching and things. So that happens around 1,500 every day, which is 3 o'clock. So next slide. And real quick, this is our energy release component. I'm going to explain a little bit. It's one of the ways we track how hot the fire gets based on how dry the fuels are. It's a good way to characterize where you're at in the fire season. And the green line there is where we're at. The gray line in the middle is average, and red is the highest. This is data over 20 years, so you're looking at a climate. And right now we're running above the average line, and you can see that line right around this time of year trends downward. So that's what you would expect going forward with the climate, is that you would lose a lot of the heat from the fire going forward from here. Not always, because the red line shows it up higher for longer, and we just have to wait and see where we're at. That's all I got. Thanks.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donovan Walker. I'm planning operations trainee for Great Basin Team 5. Super happy to be here. These two gentlemen that just spoke up here, very integral to what we do in operations and how we make our plans and deal with these fires and get to the objectives that are set for us to get fires put out. Everything works together. We are a team in so many ways. That's just one of the ways how it relates to us and how we speak to our firefighters and how they attack a fire, how they defend, how they do different things that makes us successful in this. What I want to do is just walk around the fire a little bit and give you an update of what's going on. Excuse me. And I really want to start up in the Deadwood Reservoir area, and normally I go the other way, but I've got a lot to report up there. There's a lot of good things that have happened on the southwest portion of the reservoir there. That was pretty active a few days ago. There's been a lot of work, direct hand line, we put buckets in there. We've run some line into the old rattlesnake burn off to the west there, and that's really been beneficial for tying that up there and not letting it sneak around that whole west side there. That's in a mop-up mode now. There's still lots of firefighters in there, and they're actively searching out smokes and getting smoke farther and farther and farther away from those containment areas. That same thing has happened around the southwest corner, around the dam there. Thank you. And also, all that kind of black you see up there, on the east side of the fire, yep, right up in there, that's a combination of fire line that was either created by dozers, created by hand line, or using road as line in there. And really just trying to tie it all together in there to make that fire stop its progression in that area towards the north. That has also been completed. There's no more controlled operations like that. It's also in a mop-up status right now. And again, several resources up there. We got to make sure the smokes are out. We got to make sure the snags are taken care of. We got to make sure it's safe. So, the next time someone goes out to recreate out there, it's a safe spot because it's a beautiful spot. I spent a lot of time up there during Pioneer. Coming around the upper edge of the fire, yep, right around there. We've had some heat in there the last few days. We have a couple of indirect lines that we continue to work, some road systems that are just to the west of that poke up to the north, the triple nickel, and the one right where it is. Right in this area, I don't have the road number right off the top of my head right now. But we continue to plan for, in case anything does want to continue kind of north up there, we don't want it coming back over to the west and threatening more values at risk that are to the north out there. We want to really keep it in that Pioneer burn scar, because it's been a huge asset for not just us, the previous team, and a lot of success along that whole eastern side of the Nelly fire. A lot of it's held up in there, and it's not really having us needing to put people at risk in areas that have snags and stuff like that. We're able to focus on areas that, where the fire could threaten to do anything. One of those areas that we're looking at, got some spots out here. We've got White Hawk Mountain Lookout up there, and we do have some fuels that the fire could move around, so we've had several crews in there as well. Basically going direct, getting in there, getting access on the road systems that are in there, and putting line where they need to put it to herd it into parts of the Pioneer fire that really don't have any more fuels anymore, and that's been an effective tactic for us. So really big picture over the next several days. When you see black on the fire line, that means we're gaining containment, we're gaining we're gaining success, right? And we expect to see this turning black over the next several days, and it's just something I wanted to report out there. As we move down, we'll come all the way down to the corner here of Nellie, the southeast corner. And this is an area that we were watching a few days ago, had some heat in there. We've had crews in there the last 2 days, gridding back and forth. And gridding is basically, they get out, they walk, well, not quite shoulder to shoulder, but they're really searching for smokes and looking for hot areas. When they find it, they stop, they deal with it. And we work that standard into the fire to really secure those fire lines. Haven't seen anything on the infrared that we get almost every day on that the last couple days, and really they're not finding anything in there. So that Highway 17 corridor, from where it's already has containment in here, and completion, we expect to see to be able to push that to the east a little bit more in the coming days, also showing additional completion for the fire. As we move around to the western side of Nellie, down the southwest corner, a lot of completed fire line. This is now complete from this area all the way up to where basically the gap is between Bulldog and Nellie. And we've had crews in there. We started pulling some hose out of there. Everything's looking great in there. That's about a 2-mile section that we were able to go ahead and show as completed in there. The area between Bulldog and Nellie, that's a primary control line. It's indirect. It's away from the fire edge because it's really not safe to engage the fire where it is in there. So we're monitoring that. That is a line that's been worked for several days. It's been talked about by the last team, and it is right now the primary control line. We have lots of resources on the fire that we can move around to that area if it becomes necessary, and we expect a high level of success in there if we need to do that. We want to fight fire up here, not down there. So if we need to, it's available to us. It's a good plan. Ideally, everything stays parked where it is, and there's a good probability and possibility that it could stay where it is, especially if we end up getting some more rain and we get closer to those season-ending events. Working up the Bulldog fire, that whole west side of the Bulldog fire is looking real good. It's been cold. As you get towards the north, this is where we're poking in. On the north side here, we're looking at some opportunities where we can check the fire even greater to prevent any more spread to the north, because that's important to the values that are to the north, up in Silver Creek, Silver Plunge, Boiling Springs. There's a lot of values at risk up there that we're concerned with, and we want to continue to protect. There's been a lot of good work before we got here on doing some fuels work in there, reducing some of the hazards around those identified values at risk in there, and we're just continuing that plan and bolstering that plan to make sure, if fire does get up into that area, it doesn't adversely affect the things that we're concerned with out there. And that's pretty much the update for what we've got going on in the fire and how we're feeling about things. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd Johnson, Air Resource Advisor. Your Air Resource Advisor, Paul Corrigan, asked me to come down and chat with you a little bit. This is the first time I've been in this valley. It's a beautiful place, isn't it? Does it feel like your air quality is getting better for you guys overall for the summer? It's been a long summer with a lot of smoke out there.
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Afternoon, breeze.
Really nice. It's nice out here right now. I've been up in the Long Valley for the last week or so, and from McCall down to Cascade, it's pretty nasty up there right now. There's a lot of smoke between Oregon, Washington, Northern California, and Idaho that are impacting this area. I don't see a whole lot of here right now, but a lot of the country is getting a lot of smoke right now towards the end of the season, but I like what I see out here right now. Paul says that you guys still are seeing unhealthy and very unhealthy air quality throughout the days. Is that right? I see a lot of nodding heads. Okay, so what are you guys doing for mitigating air quality issues? Are you doing much? Are you staying inside? Are you turning on your air conditioning if you've got it? What do you do overall? Go outside, not worry about it. It's getting so much better that you're in good shape. All the above. Okay. You guys know you can go to the internet and find good stuff about how you can mitigate these issues. Airnow.gov is a good place you can go. NCWeb has a lot of links where you can find out how to put together a filter and a fan and clean your area inside your house, that sort of thing. And these are really good tools that a lot of people use and find out very successful things about how to clean the air in your house. And they do really, really well. I want to remind you that if you do have an issue with smoke, before you do any of these mitigative measures, that you talk to your doctor about it first, okay? All right, so you've got maybe a month or so before the kind of downturn in fire season, and so we got a lot of smoky days ahead of us still. We've got, I don't know, some pretty calm conditions, so the smoke that is coming in here is really not going anywhere for a while. And you guys had mentioned that maybe towards the middle of next week we might see some of this smoke out of here, hopefully. I'm hearing about a low coming in next week sometime with maybe a little bit of rain, so that might be an opportunity for some of this smoke to get out of here for a while. At least that's what we're hoping for, because we're seeing hazardous conditions up with your brothers up north on the other side of the hill. And like I said, we are in some hazardous situations up there, and they're getting pretty crabby right now. Okay? So dial them up and see how they're doing. That's pretty much all I've got right now. Like I said, I like what you see out there right now, and I'm hoping that it's going to stay with you and get better. Operations is talking about putting out a lot of smoke with those folks on the hand lines and putting out as much smoke as they can, so that's contributing to better air quality to you guys in the long run. But like I said, we've got another 3 weeks or so before the downturn in fire season. Best of luck to you guys, and take care of each other.
Good evening. My name is Michael Stansberry. I am an agency administrator. I'm in service to you, representing the Boise National Forest. And one of the things that I'm doing is really making sure that the team understands the values that are important to you and what do we need to protect. I got to tell you, we just did a team transition. We've got a new team in here. So part of it is just making sure that team understands that this team is hitting it out of the park. I'm really impressed with this team. Not only the communication, but the pace, right? Part of the thought is that you just don't want to go hard charging into something that really gets a bit hurt, that type of thing, that you understand the conditions that we've had over the past almost 40 days now on these 2 fires at Bulldog and Valley, and then apply that, the smarts of understanding and the experiences on how you're going to make sure that those values are protected. Primary value being not to make sure that fire doesn't come down into this valley. So just want to share, this is my last day with you in this valley, and I just wanted to share that this team is really doing a great job. My replacement is here tonight, so I want to introduce him, Brian Monroe, just to say a few words.
Yes, so I'm Brian Monroe. I'm originally from on the Fish Lake National Forest down in Utah. I've had many of these fires in our community, and so in fact we've even had this team come and help us last summer. So we're excited to have them here. We're excited to engage and be able to again get some of that smoke out of the air and get things taken care of. So, but anyways, thank you, and I'm going to be seeing you for the next 2 weeks. So.
Good afternoon, Trainee, Instant Commander of Great Basin Team 5. So thanks for taking the time to come out and visit with us. I know y'all don't want to hear me talk. You want to ask questions, and we'll see if we can answer them. But we also, there was a couple of this is my second meeting with you guys. The first one, it was brought up, 2 in the middle here, about spending local economy money. So I want you to know, I went to the store today, I bought me a big fountain drink, and I bought some candy. I bought me a bracelet from one of the stores from a sweet lady that moved here about a year ago from North Carolina. So yeah, I tried to do my part today anyway. Another sweet lady here brought up about her elk in her yard, right? Y'all were talking about elk and wildlife stuff, so we have the Idaho Fish and Game here to answer any questions. So make sure if you have any questions, the experts are here. So because we're not the experts with the wildlife, right? So yeah, we're trying to listen to your questions. You know, that's why we're here to answer your questions and those kind of things. So keep them coming to us, and we'll see if we can get the answers or whatnot. And I'll close with. This is our day 2, and you guys have been, it's so nice when people are appreciative and thankful, right? So a couple days ago, I found a quote. I'm kind of a quote guy, and my quote's from John F. Kennedy. Everybody knows JFK, right? So his quote was, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them." Okay, and all of you, so far from what I've seen, are living by your words. When you say thank you and your appreciation, you guys are, you mean it. And that means a lot to the team. So thanks for that. Really goes a long ways. These firefighters and the team here support the firefighters. You know, we're breathing smoke. Those guys on the line. It's long days. Y'all know what the terrain's like and stuff. So thanks for being appreciative and thanks for the thank yous and everything. So thanks. I'm going to turn it back over to Aaron.
All right, thank you to all our speakers. It's open for questions. If anybody has a question, please raise your hand, and we've got a microphone that we can bring to you so everybody can hear you. Anybody have any burning questions? I didn't say that. Sorry, that slipped out. It's not good.
You're going to need to up your game on the puns. I just wanted to express my really deep appreciation for all you guys have done and how informative you've been and how seamless this transition has been. It's really quite amazing. And some of the new videos I got to watch, Donovan and Trent and all these guys this morning, it was so cool. You guys are doing a great job of communicating. So we really appreciate it, and you had a tough act to follow, and you're doing great. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you too. And I don't know why it is that knowing how you feed these guys or these firefighters was interesting to learn about today on your KHGVLB. 98.5 FM. Anyway, and so, my question now is more of a long-term question, and so I appreciate how you might be able to put me off. I do have in my hand a map that shows the names and the dates of fire scars, but there's nothing like having a fire in your area and have you talk in terms of how the fire scars are helping you to manage the fire. I wonder if you get any predictive help. Get anything? Can you take that fire history and help us think about where the next challenges would be most likely?
I think that's one of the cooler questions you can ask. Because about a week ago, before I was assigned to the fire, I was watching. I lived in Boise, so I was watching fires on the landscape, and I've got a way to pull up old fire perimeters based on decade. And I was on the Pioneer fire, so I knew it was up here. When I pulled it up, I could see it just tracing the edge of the Pioneer fire. Before it became this perimeter, it was easy to sort of tell where it could still run. So to your question, what you can do is sort of 8 years ago, the eastern side of this fire was sort of laid down by the Pioneer fire. And then this fire will be creating boundaries for future fires. But because the mosaic here is so, the firescape has got so many puzzle pieces together right now. Whether you've got the lighting fire scar from 2007, the rattlesnake from 2006, Pioneer, so if you look at all those, you can see there's probably about a 30 to 40-year fire return. And as you can see how the rattlesnake fire is right now a soft holding feature, meaning the fire's burning through it to some degree. It's holding it softly versus the Pioneer, which is more of a hard line. So you can sort of, so that's how we kind of look at those scars.
So a specific follow-up. I've noticed that on Charters Mountain, which is south of the South Fork, we haven't had a lot of recent fire activity. Should we be holding our breath?
Well, we should definitely think about it. There are always going to be areas, where you're grateful that you haven't had fire activity but then, you could kind of think the next lightning strike during a drought period, something like that. But like I said on the first slide, that doesn't mean a straight black landscape like some fires have done. It could also be a mosaic pattern.
I would also mention that prescribed burning is becoming a little more common now over in the West. With Smokey the Bear, we were so much anti-fire that a lot of these fuels have just built up over decades. And bringing back prescribed burning is another way to try and manage it before it gets to a wildfire. And so we're working with people like Dano, who's one of the agency administrators here, to try and help people understand how it works and how we can get it on the landscape. Because there's a lot of moving parts, of course, and prescriptions are very difficult to follow, especially in mountain ranges and stuff. So that is something that we're all working on as well. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
With the conditions of the fire right now, would you anticipate Schreiber Creek and Granite Basin roads remaining closed, or would you see them opening up anytime soon?
I don't know the answer to that question. Anybody?
Can you point them up? I think day two still kind of learning the lay of the land. So roads that are in the closure area, not necessarily in the fire area. Correct. So roads that are in the closure area, not necessarily in the fire area that you're referring to. So roads out here, as far as force closures.
Okay, I'll address your question. Right, I'll stand right in front of you. This is awkward. No, so folks, we do have an area closure. This is a better map, and I think this shows that closure that you're referring to. So right now, we're having conversations about what is there any way to release a closure? What does that look like? But know that it takes a long time to get to a place where we can lift a closure. Know also that we heard from operations that we've got a lot of heat still on this fire, and a change in wind or a change in any kind of, we don't have a fire scar that we just talked about in this area, right? And so because of that, we've got a lot of susceptibility, a lot of fuels available to. Plus, most importantly, we've got a lot of firefighters in that area, and they're on the roads, and they need to have clear access. So once we lift an area, once we lift a closure, now anyone can get back in there. It's not only for their safety that we think about what we're putting them into, but it's also the firefighters that are on the road and just trying to make sure that the area is patrolled and that any lines that need to be improved or need to be bolstered, that they have clear access to that without any interruptions. So I don't have a definite answer when they're going to lift closure, but we're always considering it.
Any other questions? All right, we really appreciate your interaction this evening, and our next meeting will be on Monday, September 9th, at 6 p.m. as well in this barn, and we will be recording and Thank you so much for coming. If you have questions for any of us specifically, please come up and ask them. Take a look at our maps. These are today's maps, so the most current maps of activity. And again, those same maps are also on Instant Web and Facebook. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.